Hey, beautiful people. So, back today with another message. I wanted to talk actually very specifically about taking back personal power, about discernment, and about recognizing how the darkness is really scrambling at this time. It's on the rise. It's definitely trying to infiltrate really all areas of life. It already has been for a long, long time, but what I'm noticing recently is that it's like there's a ramping up of that energy. So there's a really good indication at this time for us to also extremely ramp up the light energy within us, because everything in life is about balance and it's about creating balance. And if we allow the darkness to go too far out of hand, we're going to lose that balance, right? And so we are at a critical tipping point, I feel, at this time, to bring the scales back into balance, to bring our light back out of ourselves and shine it so brightly so that it can be seen and felt by the world at large and by the world around you. So really, this message today is about taking back that personal power and really using your discernment. There was some videos I was watching actually this morning, and I'm just going to light some sage as I talk about this topic, because it was heavy, it was definitely dark, and I was definitely recognizing how the darkness is really trying to play it up at this time. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this, is like, no, we have to really, really be powerful at this time and really use our discernment to not allow the darkness to overtake, because it's going to try, and it does overtake a lot of people. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is that it's so incredibly important for us to recognize how stuff will never make you happy. The true happiness that I think all of life is seeking on this planet is, and what people are seeking on this planet, the true light is actually the light of love. It is the light that comes from within. It is a light that is light. It feels light. It is light energetically, and it's expansive, and it feels really good, and it feels really warm. These are the feelings that we're looking for. These are the energies that we are looking to embody. The lawn mowing again, always. See, even that, it's like the darkness is like trying to fuck with my quiet time. Well, it's not going to. I'm making this video regardless. So yeah, it's hugely time for us to be discerning, and for us to really recognize how powerful we are and how much light we actually have within. And the key to all of this, and the key to tipping the scales, the key to bringing light back into balance on this planet, is by embodying it. That is, we are the magnifiers of light. We are the people that are able to take light and exponentially make it huge. But that's up to us. That's up to each individual choosing the light within themselves, which means to choose the light within yourself, you are no longer choosing fear. You are no longer subscribing to fear. You are no longer attached to fear. You are no longer obsessed with fear. You are no longer worried that fear is going to consume you. It's like worry and fear leave your life. When you come into alignment with light, with the light and the power within yourself, the fear dissipates. It goes away. It diminishes, and it diminishes because fear is of the shadow. It comes from the darkness. It comes from a lack of awareness. It comes from a lack of understanding, a lack of connection to the light. That is what fear is. And the more that you connect to the light, the more that I connect, the more that I plug in, the more that I tune in, the more that I elevate myself in terms of my thoughts and how I'm seeing things, the more I'm recognizing that the veil is dropped and that there is no hiding anything from me at this point. I see things with so much more clarity. The moment you embody that clarity is the moment that you have won. It is the moment that you have conquered the darkness within yourself. And I know for a fact that the reason why... Oh, I just noticed a bird completely built a nest in my tree. I've never seen that before. Wow, cool. Sorry, I totally get distracted by nature all the time. But the moment you do that is the moment that you truly embody the light. And in that moment, you notice life itself unfolding and blossoming and being beautiful. And this is how we tip the scales. This is how we bring light back in to balance in this world, through embodiment. There is no other way. We must embody that light if we want to be happy, if we want to be joyful. And while some people will choose the darkness because it's easier, because it's less work, because to choose the light, you must be honest with yourself. You must be willing to see your shortcomings. You must be willing to notice where you are not truly in balance and where you are not truly yourself. It takes real honesty and real recognition and real digging deep within ourselves to really recognize that light, to find that light and take, like, unbury it, right? Because so much fear and worry and trauma and pain will bury that light within us. And this is why we shelter our hearts, and this is why we close our hearts off to love, to abundance, to prosperity, to good things coming into our life. We do that to ourselves, because pain and fear and suffering is all layered upon this beautiful light that we have within ourselves, that we carry within ourselves, that we are not fully knowing how to embody. And the learning of this embodiment is the process of life, learning how to embody the light and how to shine it out of you, how to reflect it out into the world is a part of our journey. That is why we're here. We're all here actually for that same reason, is to learn how to find that light within us, how to cultivate it and grow it and expand it even further and make it bigger. This is why you are alive. And at this time, like I said, we're at this critical choice point where we can decide to continue embodying darkness and our shadow and our fears and our worries, our foundless worries, or are we going to allow the light to say, no, man, I'm so much more powerful than my fears and my worries, and I have this and I got this. Because when you know you've got spirit on your side, when you know that you are connected to something so much fucking bigger than you, and so powerful and so beautiful and so loving and so kind, when you genuinely feel that connection within yourself, that in itself is a gift. That in itself is a recognition of the light, of where you belong, of where you come from, and of what you are embodying and who you are embodying. So it's a choice, and I keep saying this to people, and I keep recognizing it within myself. It's like, it is a choice. We choose. We get to choose every single day through our actions and through our behaviors, through our communication style. We get to choose what we embody, and you embody it with everything that you do. Every single day, every moment of every day, how you show up reflects how much you embody Christ consciousness or how much you don't. And the more fear that you are in, the more worry that you are in, the less you are embodying Christ consciousness, the less you are embodying that light, the less you have deepened that knowing within yourself that you are safe, that you are protected, that you are guided by the light, that you are constantly loved. Constantly loved. And one of the biggest takeaways that I've had through my spiritual awakening is just feeling so incredibly loved and feeling so incredibly supported by unseen forces, by by spirit, by God, by my ancestors, by my angels, my guides, my everything, the light beings, the elementals, everything and everyone that is around me in the unseen world, in unseen dimensions. Those are my tribe. Those are my family. Those are the energies that I choose to communicate with, that I choose to keep my lines open with, that I choose to allow to guide me into the right direction, because they have never failed me, ever. And the more that I trusted, and in the beginning it was hard and I didn't trust and I didn't know how to trust, but the more I started to trust in these invisible forces and the more proof that I was receiving in my life, in my everyday experiences, that this unseen energy is real and it's here and it's supporting me, the more proof that I was getting was just snowballing this experience. It just kept growing it bigger and bigger and bigger. So the more you believe, the more proof you are going to have that there is something to believe in, that there is a greater power, that there is divine miracles at work in your life, even if you don't acknowledge it as such, even if you don't see it as such initially, especially initially, because before you really start going through the awakening process, you think everything is happening to you. But once you are moving through the awakening process and you have really kind of gone up some levels, then you're going to start to have a completely different perspective of your life, and you're going to start to see that life is happening for you, and that you are the creator and the master of your life. You are the person that dictates what happens on a daily basis with your energy, with our energy. I manifest my days with my energy. And if I focus on peace, then I am manifesting peace for myself. And I manifest peace continuously for myself, because now I have discernment. Now I have boundaries. Now I have this awakened perception of life and of what I allow into my circle, into my bubble, and what I do not, what I am not okay with accepting, what kind of behavior, what kind of toxicity, what kind of people I don't want to be around. Like, I have that figured out now. I know. But I know because I kept choosing myself, and I had to keep trusting, and I had to keep going through this process of growth, which was hard. When you're initially shedding your ego, when you're initially shedding your shadow, because Dark Night of the Soul is actually that. It is a process of going through shedding of your own shadow. As you move through that, it's hard, man, because we're so used to living in shadow, I think. And we have been so conditioned to believe that it's perfectly okay and cool, actually, to live in your shadow. And we have become people in our world that idolize, other people, which is so fucking wrong in my eyes. There's no one above you. There's no one that is better than you just because they have more money or billions or whatever and a whole bunch of stuff around them. That doesn't make them better than you. What makes us good, inherently good, is the vibration within you, is the feelings that you have within you. Can you love everything to such a degree that you don't want to kill any? I couldn't even kill a fly yesterday. I used to swat flies, no problem. Now I can't even do that. Like, I don't have it in me. I'm like, I have no right to take this little being's life just because it's annoying me. And sure, flies are fucking annoying, but you can put it outside. You can find different ways of allowing it to live somewhere else where it's not pestering you. It's like you got to get to that place within yourself of this true embodiment of unconditionally loving nature, of unconditionally loving yourself. Because as I move through that, and the more that I am loving myself, the more awareness I'm having of my own great qualities, the more Spirit is like revealing to me who I truly am and showing me. And it helps me to embody that even more and even deeper within myself. My connection to Source has been, guys, like, I would have fucking fallen apart. My life was in shambles. Like, it was so difficult. There were so many hardships that I had to go through, that I had to experience in this lifetime. But the reason why I had to go through them, because it was like this test of like, will you trust? Will you have faith that everything will balance out in the end? And that was something I really had to learn. And I really had to believe in that for myself. Because if I wouldn't have believed it, I would have gone crazy. I would have gone mental. I would have been one of those people that was just like completely off their rocker because of all the stress and all the different shit I went through. Like, but I didn't become that. And I didn't become that because I kept having faith. And in the beginning, my faith was maybe this big, but then it just grew over time. I kept trusting, and I kept communicating, and I kept keeping that line open with God, with Source, with my Creator. And as I did that, and as I moved through that, it just started to get stronger. The messages became stronger and louder, and I kept hearing, just trust, just trust, just trust. Like, we got you, we got you, we got you. And lo and behold, every day my life is evidence that I am supported, that I have the love, the support, the everything that I need. It is here right now, and all I have to do is truly just connect to it. Connect to it with my mind and my heart and my soul. And you connect through prayer, you connect through meditation, and really deep trust. And I know that last one is the hardest. To trust unseen, unknown forces can be extremely challenging. But when you have evidence, and even if the evidence is small, if you have evidence that things are okay, that things are working out, if you start to get that feeling, that inclination within you that, everything is going to be okay. And perhaps I'm just stressing over, things that I'm stressing because I'm used to that. It's just my ego replaying thoughts that it has always played in my head that I've come to believe over time. And now I don't need to believe those thoughts anymore because I realize that fear is not real. It's just an illusion that I bought into because it was played out in front of me so much and for so long, and perhaps most of my life. But once you see that it's not real and that we create our own fear, that we go down these rabbit holes by choice, by not using discernment and not using personal power, by not trusting your own intuition, we take ourselves down those rabbit holes and we create our own tower moments for ourselves. So my takeaway and my message to you today is to find that light within you, find that spark and see it and be proud of it and connect to it and just know that that is my power. I feel it, it's in there. Maybe it feels a little weak right now, but I feel it and it's in there and I can connect to it. And the more that I connect to it, actually, the more powerful it feels and the stronger it seems to get. When you initially light a candle, that candle starts off with just a small little flame, and that flame starts to grow as the wax starts to melt, right? And as the candle starts to burn that wax. Well, this is the same thing. What is your spiritual wax? Can you add more to your daily routine? Can you do things on a daily basis that represents that spiritual wax that will allow you to burn more brightly and shine more brightly? And for me personally, that spiritual wax was self-care, self-love. It was about connecting to myself and understanding my own deep needs. I needed to learn who the fuck I was. I needed to learn, what does Kata need on a daily basis to be happy, to be truly at peace, to feel balanced and in harmony? What do I actually need to do, to be, and to believe on a daily basis so that I can experience that harmony? And I learned it, and I'm still learning it. I'm still going through that learning process. And that's okay. I think we go through this learning process until the end of our time because we continuously change. Certain experiences change us, and certain experiences give us learning, give us a deeper understanding about things. So we are going to continuously change until the day we die. But as we move through that change, as you recognize that you need to make certain adjustments in your day, in your routine, in your lifestyle, and how you talk and what you listen to and what you eat and blah, 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 whatever it is. When you see that you need to make certain changes to keep yourself up, to keep yourself level, to keep yourself connected with who you truly are and what your needs are, the more that I do that, the more that you do that, the more we come into alignment. The more we learn boundaries, the more we learn assertiveness, the more we learn how to truly love ourselves in ways that others can't love us, because it is our job to cultivate that love within ourselves first, to see your value, to see your worth, to see what a beautiful soul that you are. And if you have good intention in you, let me just say this, okay? Because as a spiritual individual, this is something I struggled with my whole life. If you are someone that constantly feels like you're not good enough or that you're not this or that enough, then just go within, get out of your head in that moment and go within yourself and remind yourself that I am light source. I do not wish ill upon anyone. I do not wish anything bad or harmful to happen to anyone. I'm genuinely always trying to stay in my own lane, or I am always staying in my own lane. I wish good for others. I don't get jealous of other people's success. As a matter of fact, I'm happy for them. I celebrate it with them. If you are that kind of a person, then notice that. And notice how fucking awesome you are and how beautiful you are and that your soul is so filled with light. Notice that. Because I had a really hard time for the longest time to notice that. Because I was so busy listening to my old programming, to all the other garbage that, I believed over time about myself. That wasn't even true. So use your discernment, use your own personal power, and use your God-given wisdom to see the beautiful individual that you are, the beautiful soul that you are. Recognize the power that you have within yourself to change your life, to move out of anything that isn't serving you, that isn't making you happy, that isn't fulfilling you, anything that drains you, takes your energy. Move all of that stuff out and allow yourself to really just be happy and to experience that happiness naturally, authentically, like for real. You have to allow that. And you allow it by recognizing who you are, not giving your power away to other people, not idolizing other people, not putting them on a pedestal and thinking they're better than you. No, we all have work to do. All of us. Not a single person on this planet is exempt from that. We have different levels of work and different kinds of work that we have to do within ourselves or for ourselves. But it doesn't change the game. We're all playing the same game. We're all in the same kind of scenario with different tools, different gifts, different abilities, different whatever, different lessons, different things we have to learn about ourselves. But self-mastery really comes down to learning who you are, recognizing who you are. And that has to come from you first really loving on yourself and really seeing the value that you are. Like I said, if you are a good person and you don't do shady shit and you don't talk shit about people behind their back and you don't do those things, then you are someone who is filled with light. Then you are someone who is already tapping in and tuning in to that energy of light within yourself. And if you are someone that does the opposite, then recognize that. Why do I talk shit about other people? What within me am I not okay with that I need to talk shit about other people? What am I jealous of, perhaps? What am I envious of? What am I feeling insecure about within myself? Because jealousy is a thing that comes up for all of us. And it used to come up for me. And I used to get jealous or feel jealous. It was never excessive, but I would feel a bit jealous if somebody, was doing better than I was. Now I don't have that. And I don't have that anymore because I see that that's so ridiculous. Why would I be jealous of someone? If I had huge success, I would want people to be happy for me, not jealous of me. Because let's face it, the reality is it takes fucking work to get there. Anybody that has ever accomplished anything, accomplished it through some kind of work. They had to do something to get there. And sometimes some people get lucky and some people get a break and some people just get certain opportunities because it's in their karma to have, easier things come to them or for things just to be served upon a silver platter. That's their mission. That's their thing. That's for them to sort out. And that comes with its own set of lessons. So never be envious of anyone or jealous of anyone because you have no idea how much fucking work it took to get there for them. Keep that in mind. And instead of taking your energy and putting it into jealousy or envy, why don't you take that energy and put it into yourself and say, how can I improve myself? How can I become a better human being? What can I do on a daily basis? What kind of practices do I need to implement in my daily life, perhaps, to help me become a better person so I can rise in my vibrations, so that I can awaken my consciousness and truly become an embodied better person. So one that embodies light, one that wishes to give love and to give compassion and understanding for others. One who is more patient, one who is more kind, one who is not jealous, not envious, but supportive and loving. This is how we change. This is what needs to change. And this is what we have the power to change within ourselves, because none of us can change each other, but we can change ourselves. So I'm sharing this with you so that you understand how you can change yourself, because this is how I'm changing. These are the realizations that I'm having from changing myself, from acknowledging my value and my worth. And take it from someone who didn't have any. It was all freaking broken up when I was a kid. So I had to rebuild my own sense of value and my own personal strength within myself. I had to do that because you couldn't do it for me. And my mom and my sister and my whoever couldn't do it for me. I had to do that for myself. Just like you have to do it for yourself. You just got to choose. So what's it going to be? What do you choose? Are we going to elevate the light on this planet? Are we going to take steps to actually really bring our power forth and say, no, we're going to shine the light brightly, man, instead of allowing the darkness to take over? Because it's trying and it wants to. We have to be the ones discerning and strong enough to say, it's time for balance. It's time for peace. It's time for love. It is time for the embodiment of spirituality. It's time to bring it back in a way that it hasn't been on this planet in a long time. It's time to really allow people to live from that heart space because it just feels so much better. And every time I watch any video that says, that's about like humans, doing kind things for other people or whatever, or faith in humanity restored, those kind of videos, every time I watch that, it's evidence. It is evidence that people feel better when they do good things for other people, because love is a giving energy. It is not a taking kind of energy. It is a love is giving. It is the embodiment of giving. So, do you give or do you take? Ask yourself that question. And it's okay if you're taking right now, but just ask yourself, does it make me feel better to be a taker? Or do I still feel empty? Do I still have a void within me that isn't filled? Because what you're trying to fill it with is the wrong ingredients. You got to fill the void with the right ingredients. And the void that 99% of people feel in this world today is the void of spirituality, is the lack of connection to themselves, to knowing themselves on a deeper level, and a lack of connection to God, to source, to spirit, to the creator. That's what's missing. That is the void that is within many, many people. So fill the void with the right wax. Remember? So let's light a piece of sage here for my exit. As we talk about this, I felt an elevation and a rise in energy as I was saying these words, because I am speaking it with passion and with love and with authenticity. There's no bullshit. Like, you guys, what you see is what you get. I will not wear a mask, and I will not, because I can't. It's just not who I am. So let's sage the collective here a little bit. And myself. And may all beings of light be protected. All beings who are here at this time on this planet to do good, to fill the ether with light and love energy. May all of those people be blessed. May their life be elevated into levels that they never even expected to reach. May they have the prosperity and the love and the wisdom to spread that light even further out into the world. And may they have the strength and the courage to keep going, even despite the darkness trying to come down upon them. And may they be protected from the darkness now and through all time and space. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Keep praying, keep connecting. You know who's God. Real God. Stay connected.